Shante. So I'm here with my daily analysis on my show. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel is Shante Berry. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I am Shanteezy. So I'm just here with some stuff. So it's not going to be long. Hopefully it's not that long because it's been a long day. Course hearing week, Supreme Court hearing week. That's what it's been like the last couple of weeks. So last couple of days. So here we go. COVID-19. So globally, we are at 38,423,591. Damn. The death toll globally is at 1,091,123. So it's almost at 1.1 million. The U.S. confirmed cases, we are at 7,909,035. So that's 7,909,035. The death toll in the U.S. is 216,639. In other countries, India is at 7.2, Brazil is at 5.1, Russia is at 1.3, Argentina is at 931,967, Colombia is at 903,159, Spain is at 908,056. Peru is at 853,974. Mexico is at 830,502. So, and France round out that top 10, 820,376. So, Panama has 122,000. DR has 119,000. Guatemala has 99,094. Nigeria has 60,834. Guyana has 47,126. Kenya has 42,541. You see Haiti is almost at 9,000, 8,908. Jamaica's at 7,982. Bahamas has over 5,000. Trinidad have over 5,000. And most of these states have a lot. Most of these places have a lot. In terms of the U.S., you see California has 866,728. Texas at 845,889. Florida has 741,624. New York has 482,671. The positivity rate is at 1.2, which is the lowest, the fourth lowest in the country. The death toll here is still the highest at 32,916. But Texas now has the second highest amount of deaths at 17,179. Illinois has 332,038. Georgia has 319,609. North Carolina has 236,810. Arizona has 227,660. New Jersey has 217,812. And Tennessee rounds out that top 10 with 217,140. And I have a feeling that Tennessee might surpass New Jersey. So New Jersey might be just the top 10. Yeah, that's where we are in terms of COVID. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So enough of that. These hearings. Ooh, God. I am just going to play some clips from the hearing. I guess I don't know if this is the closing argument. I have no idea. But I guess we all need to hear clips from this hearing because this here was it was not crazy intense, but it seemed like she has a problem with answering people's questions, which I'm not surprised. So here we are. So I'm going to take it off with Cory Booker. I guess he was asking about the immigration policy that Trump had, and here it is.
So maybe I can just go back to asking just a simple question that I hope you'll feel comfortable asking. It's just what I think is an obvious answer again. But do you think it's wrong to separate children from their parents to deter immigrants from coming to the United States?
Senator Booker, that's been a matter of policy debate, and obviously that's a matter of hot political debate in which I can't express a view or be drawn into as a judge.
And so maybe I can.
That was just a simple yes or no. She can't do that. Problematic. Many examples. Another one. She was asked about climate change, and once again, she denies it. This is Senator Harris, vice presidential nominee on a Democratic ticket. Here we go.
Do you accept that COVID-19 is infectious?
I think, yes, I do accept that COVID-19 is infectious. That's something of which I feel like, we could say you take judicial notice of. It's an obvious fact, yes.
Do you accept that smoking causes cancer?
I'm not sure exactly where you're going with this, but, the notice that smoking
causes... The question is what it is. You can answer it if you believe yes or no.
Senator Harris, yes, every package of cigarettes warns that smoking causes cancer.
And do you believe that climate change is happening and is threatening the air we breathe and the water we drink?
Senator, again, I was wondering where you were going with that. You have asked me a series of questions that are completely uncontroversial, like whether COVID-19 is infectious, whether smoking causes cancer, and then trying to analogize that to eliciting an opinion on me that is a very contentious matter, opinion from me that is on a very contentious matter of public debate, and I will not do that. I will not express a view on a matter of public policy, especially one that is politically controversial, because that's inconsistent with the judicial role, as I have explained.
Thank you.
Those questions were basically, once again, simple yes or no questions. Just simple yes or no's. She couldn't do that. Another example. Let's hear, this is Mazie Hirono, as she basically asked her about a serious amount of questions, from Roe versus Wade to LGBTQ, you name it. I'm just trying to find today's clip. So here we are, and she asked her about discrimination, about voter suppression. This is another one.
Foreseeable that a lot of states passing voter restriction, suppression, basically laws. Do you believe, Judge Barrett, that voter suppression or discrimination in voting currently exists?
Senator Hirono, we have the Voting Rights Act that offers protection, and Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which was not at issue in Shelby County, protects voters from any kind of measures that would discriminate on the basis of race. And so that gives
protection. Do you think that the Justice Department is pursuing aggressively those sections of the law? Because we know that over a dozen states passed what I would characterize as voter suppression laws. So that is obviously happening. Now, in that case, Justice Thomas went even further, because the majority in Shelby County left the framework for allowing Congress to come back with formulas that would enable pre-clearance to occur. But Justice Thomas went even further. He said, get rid of the entire framework. Congress, you're totally out of the picture. So this is the danger we're facing.
She couldn't even answer if voter suppression, do you think voter suppression is wrong? It's Mazie Hirono. Couldn't answer that? No? Couldn't answer Mazie Hirono's question? Then Amy Klobuchar. I think Amy Klobuchar asked about the Bush versus Gore situation. So, because Senator Klobuchar asked her about a couple of things. She asked her about the Gore case. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, there we go.
Reminding vote by mail, even though a number of Republican governors and Republican senators are supportive of it. many argue that Bush v. Gore, and back to your earlier work, hurt the court's legitimacy. If you are confirmed, the Supreme Court will have not one, not two, but 3 justices, you, Justice Kavanaugh, and Chief Justice Roberts, who worked on behalf of the Republican Party in matters related to the Bush v. Gore case. Do you think that that's a coincidence?
Senator Klobuchar, if you're asking me whether I was nominated for this seat because I worked on Bush versus Gore for a very brief period of time as a young associate, that doesn't make sense to me.
I just think it's such a coincidence to me. I actually didn't know it until yesterday, but will having justices with this background, 2 of whom were appointed by the current president, decide any cases related to the upcoming election, do you think that will undermine the legitimacy of the court?
Asking whether something would undermine the legitimacy of the court or not seems to be trying to elicit a question about whether it would be appropriate for justices who participated in that litigation to sit on the case rather than recuse. And I went down that road yesterday saying it's
I know.
a legal question.
You said you wouldn't recuse. That's why I thought it was
That isn't what I said. I said I
Well,
wouldn't
you said,
commit. I
you
wouldn't
said
recommit.
that you're right. You said you wouldn't announce your decision on recusal, and you wouldn't commit to recusing. But again, I think the public has a right to know that now 3 of these justices have worked on the Republican side on a major issue related to a presidential election. One thing I wanted to
She's not going to recuse herself if, Donald Trump loses and try to take the case to the court. That's fucking alarming. Senator Leahy asked her the same question the day before. And I believe Senator Feinstein, too. I believe Senator Blumenthal had a question about, I think IVF the other day or today. I'm not quite as sure. Because I think, yep, here we go. This is the day before.
I'm going to ask again, just this last time, criminalizing it.
Well,
Would it be constitutional? I think there's a clear answer.
but Senator, I've repeatedly said, as has every other nominee who sat in this seat, that we can't answer questions in the abstract. That would have to be decided in the course of the judicial process. With a case, some legislature would actually have to do that, and then litigants would have to come to court. There would have to be briefs and arguments and consultation with colleagues and opinion writing and consideration of precedent. So an off-the-cuff reaction to that would just circumvent the judicial process.
Well, again, I'm disappointed. I think Tracy would find that response somewhat chilling because she and thousands, maybe millions of women, potential parents, would be horrified to think that IVF treatment could be made criminal. And I understand you're not answering the question.
So pretty much her history, she sat on the board pretty much to advocate that abortions, or not even abortions, IVFs and all this stuff, women's reproductive health as barbaric. I know several people that use IVF treatments because they can't get pregnant. It's very hard for them. There's women that have different pre-existing conditions that's very hard for them to reproduce. Some women can't adopt because they want to have children the old-fashioned way. Adoption is not that easy, especially going through an agency. And not just only background checks. There's some parents that when they get clean, they want their goddamn kid back. You can't blame them. Can't blame them at all. So the fact that this nominee is one thing, you have a conservative view or far right view. Her view is not conservative. Let's just get that straight. It's far right. So her view is originalism. For those who don't know what originalism is, I'll just read the definition to you. because it's pretty damn interesting. Originalism is a noun. It's the principle of belief that the original intent of an author should be endeared to in later interpretations of a work. In U.S. law, it's the judicial interpretation of the Constitution which aims to follow closely the original intentions of those who drafted it. So pretty much, it's basically going by the original writing of the Constitution that all men created equal. That doesn't include women. That doesn't include people of color. That doesn't include the LGBT community as well. It doesn't include people. Absolutely. Absolutely, Holly. Absolutely. Like, no. Originalism is barbaric. That shit is barbaric. You basically going to consider me 3/5 of a person. Because that's what they considered black people back then. If you think this shit is horrible for women, this shit was horrible for people like me. And I got 2 strikes against me. I'm a woman and I'm black. Well, I'm black and I'm a woman. I put my race before my gender. So the fact is that she's taking over somebody's seat who was an example for women, all women. It's like taking us back to a time where only white men were supreme. Because white women was not even there with white men. And that is the goddamn truth. I'm not walking behind no man. I don't do that shit. And I was raised by both my mother and my father. And I was raised to be a strong woman. A strong black woman at that. So the fact is that she's going to be deciding some cases that's going to take this country far back. It's going to be like the 1960s over again, where people are going to protest, and it's not going to stop. And if Republicans do this, they're going to suffer some major consequences. There's some polls showing some incumbent senators on the Republican side about to lose their job. It's not a good look for them. Not at all. It's actually not. But it's sad shit. Very sad shit. To even do this in the middle of an election. Not at all. It's actually not. But it's sad shit. Very sad shit. To even do this in the middle. So like I said, I don't give trolls, Russian bots, or Trump supporters, if they're trolling me, the time or day. I don't do that. Okay? I don't do that at all. Not one bit. But as I said, this is politically going to hurt the Republicans, and on the judicial front, on the law, it's going to set the country back many years back, and that's not good. So this is exactly why elections have consequences, and it's important for us to go out and vote. Like our lives depend on it at this point in time. That's what I'm saying. But to stay away from a topic, so Mr. Cube is at it again with his voter suppression BS antics. So I'm just going to pull up some tweets from the man. Mr. Q, Mr. Q, Mr. Q. He's one of a kind. So here we are. Here's his tweet. I put out the contract with Black America, also known as CWBA. Both parties contacted me. Dem said we'll address the contract with Black America after the election. Trump campaign, he's a rapper. Trump campaign made some adjustments to their plan after talking to us about the contract with Black America. So there you have it. That's one of the tweets. I'm trying to find the other tweet where he basically tried to check somebody. So I'm just trying to find that. Oh yeah, him. And I'm not going to be watching The Barbershop. I'm not watching The Barbershop. I'm not watching Boys in the Hood. I'm not listening to It's a Good Day because that's my song. I'm not watching The Players Club. I'm just not watching some of this shit. I'm not. Because I'm just that mad. I'm in my New York voice, I'm dumb tight. Because you're prominent in the Black community and you doing all this fucking bullshit for what? For why? You even got conservatives, like traditional conservatives coming for your ass. Like, the fuck is you doing? Are you out of your whole entire mind? Okay, since I can't find the other tweet, he basically tried to check someone, said these people are the dark side. And yes, Trump not going to do nothing for Black America. And I criticize Donald Trump every day. And people are like, why did you do that? He's not a racist person. Okay, if you're from New York City, if you're from northern New Jersey, or if you're from southern Connecticut, you know Donald Trump's history with Black people ain't the best. Your man's never went to no Black neighborhood, in far as I know. He never came to my neighborhood because I am from Harlem. I grew up 20 minutes away from his office by train. That man never came. And keep in mind, I lived on Fifth Avenue. So I can take that long walk. I could walk through the park and then walk out of 59th Street, 2 blocks away from 59th Street. That's his office. That man back in the 80s when Harlem was burning and when the Bronx was burning and drugs was out there, he didn't do shit. I didn't see him do nothing. But you damn sure try to call for the death row of the 5 guys, the Central Park 5, the 5 guys from Harlem, from my neighborhood. And you want to sit there and talk this shit about, I am an ally to the Black community. Just because you took pictures with some Black celebrities, nigga, that don't mean shit. I'm sorry to use the N-word, but I got to keep it real because he's a bum. He always been a bum. So when people were taking him seriously as a candidate, I was like, are y'all fucking kidding me? Oh, Shanta, you should take him seriously. I don't care. Even when he got elected, I was just like, he's not a president. I will never call that man Mr. President. His name is Donald Trump. Or the bum, the New York bum in chief, the New York con artist in chief, the White House resident, now the COVID super spreader in chief because that motherfucker still got some heckles in his throat. He's a bum. It's the truth. Y'all could laugh at him with his dance, because the Lincoln Project sure did a thing. You about to lose your job. So for these people that still support him, because they still out there, that little 30%, and that little 30%, you still got that 53% of the white women. Fuck y'all. For the actual decent people that actually going to vote for Biden and Harris, please do so. And if you still don't know stuff about them, it's still time. Do your research online. I was still reading some stuff, still reading about the women agenda, the Biden women agenda, and the Lift Every Voice. And I was looking at some other stuff too, because there's a plan within a plan, within a plan, within a plan, within a plan. That's how extent it is. So I encourage you to read it, because I'm going to continue to do some more reading, and if my eyes don't get wandering. But yeah, don't pay attention to him. Don't even pay attention to the New York Post about Hunter. I think it says like Hunter owes some money, some dumb shit that, you know. I mean, the New York Post is not a reliable source. My father used to buy the paper. It was 25 cents then went for 50 cents. I think it's still 50 cents. It's like the cheaper end of the Daily News, even though the Daily News is 10 times better, in my opinion. But this is where we are, America. This is why you cannot believe this information. You can't believe it. It's bullshit. So that's what I'm saying, folks. Vote. Vote like your life depends on it. Okay? Wash your hands, wear your mask, and be safe. Until then, you have a good night.